1. Introduction, limitations of arrays. So far, when dealing with multiple pieces of data, we have used arrays. Arrays are fantastic, but they have one major limitation. They can only store elements of the same data type. Imagine you are writing a program to manage student records. For each student, you need to store name, char array, string, ID number, integer, GPA float. You would be forced to create 3 separate arrays, which makes the data scattered and hard to manage. This is messy. We need a way to group these different pieces of information that logically belong together into a single cohesive unit. 2. The solution structures, structs. A structure, or struct, is a custom, user-defined data type in C that allows you to group logically related variables of different data types under a single name. Think of a struct as a template or a blueprint for a record. You define the shape of the data once, and then you can create as many specific records variables based on that template as you need. 3. Key terminology, members and types. When discussing structs, there are specific terms we use. Struct tag, the name you give to the blueprint, e.g., student. Member, the individual variables inside the struct, e.g., ID, GPA, name. These are the fields of the record. Struct variable, the actual variable created based on the blueprint, e.g., student 1, class leader. 4. Conceptual example, a student struct. Instead of managing 3 separate lists for one student, a student struct puts them together. This definition tells the compiler, whenever I declare a variable of type struct student, allocate enough memory to hold 1 integer, 1 float, and 50 characters. Actually, when I check a variable of the student type by using sizeof, it returns a result with a slightly higher value. The power is in the grouping. Student 1 now represents the full set of data, not just one piece of it. 5. Why use structs? Structs are fundamental in C because they enable complex data modeling. Modeling real-world objects, you can create a struct for a point, x, y coordinates, a book, title, author, ISBN, or a date, day, month, year. Organized code. It is much easier to pass a single struct variable to a function, e.g., call a function like print student info and pass student 1 to it, easier than to pass 5 individual arguments. Foundation for advanced concepts. Structs are used to build data structures such as linked lists, trees. 6. Conclusion and next steps. We've introduced the concept of the struct, the user-defined type that lets us group dissimilar data types into a single logical unit. In the next lesson, we will get practical and learn the exact syntax for declaring a struct and, more importantly, how to access and manipulate its individual members using the dot operator. Our next lesson is 7.2, Declaration and Access. Creating a simple struct, e.g., student information.